Hi everybody. I realize when doing OSINT research, a topic that comes up a lot is the OSINT framework. The OSINT framework is a fantastic tool that compiles a bunch of other tools together and helps OSINT investigators find specific things for what they need. I realize that not everyone knows what all of these tools do, and so I want to make a series where I go over all of the different types of tools in the OSINT framework, and today I'm going to be starting with the username section of the OSINT framework. So starting off the list, there's what's my name, name check, name checker, instant username, user search, and name checkup. Essentially, all of these tools do the exact same thing, which is username enumeration. What's My Name Web is one of the most popular frameworks. We talked about it in the last video, which is Docker. The tab is going to be right up in the top right. Essentially what it does is it goes through a bunch of different websites. When you type in a username, you're going to hit enter, and you're going to search for it. You're going to confirm all the curtains like I do, because I love CAPTCHAs. It's going to go through all of these different types of usernames for all of these different websites. And so in the bottom left, we have a document search, which shows any specific documents that are related to the username. And then on the right-hand side here, we have the Google search, which includes the first username enlisted as the search term. So it'll just show PEX. All of these other sites do essentially the exact same thing to varying degrees. One of my favorites is this instant username. It does the same thing as what's my name or any of the other username enumeration tools, except it shows you which ones are taken and where they are taken at. It usually is a smaller kind of batch rather than, what's my name going over 640 different websites. This is going to go over only a handful, right? It's not going to go over too many. You can hit more and it's going to show you all the ones where it's taken, but usually to a varying degree, there's not as much information here. I just like the UI of this one, but all of these tools will do the exact same thing. That's Them is a tool that is basically a smaller form of a data brokerage. It goes over name, address, phone, email, IP, and VIN numbers. So if any of that information is public for a specific target you're looking for, then you can just search it up right here. Essentially, the way it works is it uses Spokio as its main data brokerage, which is this huge, expansive data brokerage that sells a bunch of people's information. It uses that as its main source, provides some of that info for free, but if you want any more in-depth or comprehensive reports, then you have to go through the paywall for Spokio. Overall, this is a great tool for just getting an initial recon on a target. I really love this, and so for example, if we just decide to put in pex@gmail.com, and just hit enter, it's going to search for all of these records and it's going to show all of these people. I'm going to blur all of this out because it's not inherently necessary to see all of this information, but essentially it goes through who owns this email address, who may own this email address, and how would we get a hold of something like this. The names directory is, well, there's that, a names directory. It's pretty hard for, common names because according to them, you can only see 1,000 records for common names. So Jack or Smith, if we click on here, we only can see about the first 1,000 names, which isn't a whole lot for a common name like Jack. But if you have a specific name for a specific target, it's much easier to find those targets. So let's just say we wanted to go here and we wanted to go to this name and we wanted to go to this name. So now that we know that there's only a handful of people with this first name, if we don't know the last name of a target, but we know that their social media profile says Jealous G, right? We could say, oh, Jealous Gems, right? Or something along those lines, is we can figure that out and kind of just piece together what we know about a target and what we can find on a place like names directory. Going into the specific sites section, these are two of the coolest tools that are in the section, Keybase and MIT PGP Key Server. So Keybase is a unique social media tool. It works very similar to Signal if you're familiar, but basically it provides end-to-end encrypted text messages and things like that, so you can send confidential or secure information over an encrypted medium. On top of that, you can make it like a social profile. So you have to share your key with, a bunch of different places. But in order to verify that you have a social media profile, you need to make a public post. So for example, if I were to want to prove that I owned the Twitter account PEXDA, you guys should go follow me, then what you would have to end up doing is you would have to go through the process of tweeting out your public key. And then once you tweet out your public key, that account is then verified, so you own it for sure. It verifies with your public key. It's really cool stuff. This is something that I'm going to start using after this. I've just never seen this before because most people hear of Signal, but it's essentially the same thing as Signal, but a social network. It's kind of cool. Now, the MIT PGP public key server It's a widely used key server that allows users to search, upload, and retrieve PGP, or pretty good privacy, keys. It's part of a web trust model that is basically saying when somebody sends an email or verifies that it's them with a PGP key on their website, you can look that up and see if it's actually them. It works when users upload a key. They can search public keys to their server, making them accessible to others. If you want to search a key, so anyone can search a public key by an email address or by a key ID. I don't have an exact address to search right now, but if we want to search the string hex, for example, we can see if there's anything on the server, right? One of the biggest drawbacks to this is once it is uploaded, you can never ever delete it, and part of that is because of the model that it has. A big part of it too is that there may be spam or fake keys depending on the email that you're using. So if someone verifies their email address with a public key, you can look it up here and see if you can get any necessary leads or any good leads. But just know that once it's uploaded, they can never take it down, and it's pretty cool stuff generally. Some little caveats about the username search engine section here. The Noam website has been down for about 2 years now, 3 years now. This is not a possible website to get to unless you go through archive, which can be slow and for varying results. So this one's completely down, and then it also shows what's my name T. This one goes through the GitHub, which is now not as inherently important because this is just kind of the data file, right? So if you are an OSINT person who comes here to run the tool, you'll probably be disappointed. In May 23, we removed all of the checker scripts from the project and focused on the project's core, which is just adding more websites to their framework, which is data.json. And then they also added what's my name one more time down here. These two are the exact same thing. I don't know why they added it twice, but they're identical and it links to the same place, so you don't have to worry about either of those two links. Just a quick honorable mention, something that OSINT framework decides to leave out is CLI tools, and there is a tools section much later in the course, but what we'll end up doing now is we'll focus on a tool that I really like, and it's called Sherlock. Last video, someone asked me what the difference is between what's my name and Sherlock. Essentially, they're identical, except Sherlock only goes through about 400 websites, while What's My Name goes through about 230 more. They're essentially functioning as the exact same tool. It's just a matter of preference, and I think as OSINT investigators, you need to use both in order to get a coherent idea of how many accounts somebody has, and one may pick up something the other missed, right? And so using these tools in tandem is something really, really important. But the way that you use this is you install it. I'll put the repository up on screen, or I'll put it in the description below, but essentially you download the repository and you basically have access to it now. So if I'm gonna search up the username PEX on all websites, I'm gonna hit enter, and essentially what it's gonna do is it's gonna go through all of these different websites and see what it can find. Now, there's different types of filters and tags you can add, like if you are searching for specific NSFW filters, you can do that, but since we're on YouTube, I'm not gonna do it. Thank you, Bert, for catching the last one, because I missed that totally. So just going through these things, and we see that we have a ton of hits here, and some we may miss on What's My Name, some we may get on here, some we may miss on both. It's just kind of using all of these tools to leverage many different things. So that's going to be it for me for the first video of the OSINT framework. We have a lot of different topics we're going to be going over. I'm going to try to get one of these videos out a week, and this is probably going to be one of the shorter videos because username enumeration tools essentially all function the same as, it's username enumeration, right? Next episode is going to be on email addresses, and we have quite a bit of tools that, we're going to look through. There's a lot of cool things in this framework, and I see videos kind of scattered, but I want to do something where you have all of it in one place if you need it. Feel free to reach out to me on Discord if you have some questions or have anything else that you need to reach out to me for. I got some great feedback last time on the script that I'm running, and so I'm doing some bug testing to make sure it works on all systems, so I appreciate you guys for reaching out, but feel free to reach out to me, and that's all I got. See ya.